I'm not, but fuck it. Yeah, you can hate him all you want. He still gets more pussy thrown at him than Mardi Gras beads. So, yeah, it is gross. The chicks that approach him, I mean. Yes. Yeah, this guy, member of the family dinner for now. So come out and see us Sunday and for the movie. You doing the movie, right? Awesome. That'll be his very last thing. But tonight you get to see his last stand-up appearance. Are you ready for that, Baton Rouge? You gotta do better than that. This is leaving town. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. My friend and yours, Mr. Seth Hartley.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing tonight?
Hey!
Thank you guys for coming out. Seriously, holy shit. Like, I'm moving, guys. I decided I'm going to Colorado.
No, you're
I
not.
only did it, like, I just wanted to see, like, if I could do it on my own. Like, just, like, live out there. Because, like, the entire time I've lived here, I've just been, got one more button, hold on. One more.
Thank you.
Just been a mama's boy. That's all I am at heart and in life. Like, she cuts up my food still. I don't even live at home. Like, she's still...
The laundry.
But, like, I just wanted to see, like, like, guys, like, I really, like, I don't think I just fit in here. Like, I've never really fit in Louisiana. I don't eat seafood. I don't hunt or fish. I've never even shot a gun, like, ever. Like, it just, I don't really fit in here very well. And so my parents, when I was a little kid, thought it'd be a great idea, like, so I could go to private school. Like, talk about a place you don't fit in. Like, and there's just, like, I don't know, there's just so many dumb fucking rules, like, in life, like, that are instilled upon you. And, like, private school is the birthplace of, like, dumb fucking rules. Like, I got suspended in private school for having my hair too long. And my teacher was like, well, what would Jesus do? I'm like, I don't know, grow a fucking beard. Like, have you ever seen a picture of Jesus? And also, I've never seen him tuck his beard into his underwear, so I'm not doing that either. Like, fuck off, everyone. Like, it's just, like, it's so stupid. But, like, I didn't really fit into private school. Like, I got picked on a bunch. And my parents were like, don't, like, make any, like, big fuss about it. My dad was, like, real staunch. He's like, you're better than that. Like, don't ever fight ever. Just, like, let them punch you until you die, I guess. Like, just walk away. But my mom was, like, a little bit different. Like, she was like, don't start a fight, but if someone punches you, end it. I'm like, whoa, Jesus Christ, Cobra Kai. Like, fucking sweep the leg, Johnny. Like, what is this, Mortal Kombat? Finish him. Holy fuck. Like, I was like, Jesus. And so, like, it never made a big deal until, like, my junior year of high school. And I'll tell you guys about my junior year of high school. So, I sat at lunch with a bunch of dudes. I'd call them my friends, but I don't remember their names. Like, we sat at lunch together, and we sat by this Coke machine because this Coke machine was defective. On Friday mornings, the Coke guy would come and put a bunch of drinks in there. And by lunch, if somebody would double tap, like give a little pop pop to the Coke machine, every drink would fall out, like all of them. So we just sat there and we were like, SEAL Team 6, we got this, like safe everyone. And we just stole every Coke that ever existed. And so one Friday we're like waiting and the Coke guy had come obviously, and like somebody went up, went pop pop and didn't work. And maybe like the Coke guy had like caught on, like man, this thing only profits 50 cents every week. And I put 400 Cokes in there, like something's amiss. But so we're like, damn. And so all the guys I was sitting with were like, we're gonna go outside and hang out. Like no more, and I wasn't done with lunch because they ate like 5 of them. So like I was still eating, but then like I saw like the guy who had like the worst day of his life. Like I don't even know, like the moves he made towards his Coke machine. Like I can't even do like on Tekken on my Xbox. Like it's like he was like doing like a bunch of double kicks and like he ended up just like kicking the fuck out of this machine, put no money in it. But all the Cokes fell out, and I was like, fucking cool. It's like I moved everybody. I was like, guys, I'm the czar of Coke at school. Just in case an emergency happens, the principal has named me the Coke czar, so I'm gonna grab all these. So I grab all these Cokes. I'm like, I'm gonna go outside and tell these dudes. Maybe they'll be my friends now. I'm like, I'm sad. But so I'm like walking outside with all these Cokes like in my hands, right? And this dude comes up to me and he's like, hey man, give me a Coke. I'm like, all right, hold on a second. Like, cool. Like I'm in like a Jenga pose right now. Like somebody pulled the wrong one. Like they're gonna fall out if any shit happens. And he's like, not soon enough. And he just slaps the shit out of my hand and all the Cokes fall out. And he takes it and throws it at me. I'm like, well, that's a dick move. So I take a Coke and I throw it at him because I don't want to be outdone. And then like we're like 20 feet apart from each other and we start running at each other like a medieval joust. Like my fist is like my lance. This guy's on a horse. Like I don't know how it happened. But we're like running after each other. And right as soon as we're about to like make contact, we hear boys! And we turn our head and our fucking principal has been standing there the entire time. So we just like run, we like hug it out like a kiss on the cheek, like, mwah, that was great, like that was the new theater thing we're gonna do later on. Like it's the sequel to High School Musical Coke Smash. Like, oh, we're not in trouble now. But so she's like, to my office. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. I was like, you know what? I didn't start this fight, I'm good. So like we're waiting, he goes to the office first. A minute later he comes out. He's like, bro, I got expelled. I'm like, oh shit. Shit got real as fuck. And I'm like, I'm good. That's why Mom said don't start fights. Like, you get expelled if you start them, you get a medal if you end them. I don't know what happens exactly on ending fights. I've never been in one. But so it's my turn to go to the office. And she sits me down, and she's like, Sean, you're in a lot of trouble. And I was like, and she's like, don't interrupt me. And I was like, cool. I won't tell you that my name's actually Seth. So when you write the detention slip, it'll be Sean. That asshole's going to detention, but Seth is not. Like, who fucking cares, right? And she's like, you're in a lot of trouble. And like, I don't know if like the spirit of Sean like came up into me, but I was like, you know what? No, I'm not. And she was like, oh really? I'm gonna call your mom. I was like, do it. I dare you. She's like, I will. I was like, 272-3477. Ask for Nessa. And if anybody wants to know, that is the real number to her preschool that she works at. So if you want to like fucking prank call her preschool, go for it, I guess. But so she does, and she gets so brazen, she puts it on speakerphone. Like, you're gonna get fucked. And I was like, all right, dude, whatever. So she calls the school, and like my mom answers, and she's like, she's like, Ms. Hartley, there's been a serious incident at school. And my mom's like freaking the fuck out. She's like, what happened? And she's like, well, I have Sean here in my office. And she's like, who the fuck is Sean? She's like, you mean Seth? And she puts her on hold. She's like, why didn't you tell me your name was Seth? I'm like, bitch, I tried. And second of all, this is funny as fuck. We're gonna see how this plays out. We're gonna see. So she puts it back on, and my mom is just like, you got my son's name wrong? What if he died? Is that what you put on his tombstone? I'm like, I don't think she knows how tombstones work. Like the person who finds the dead body doesn't get to write the epitaph on the tombstone. Because if that's the case, then a bunch of murderers are like, Ginny's a bitch. I just don't think that's how it works. But so the principal gets all smug about it, right? And she's like, well, Seth. I'm like, you got it right now, good job. She's like, Seth was in a fight today. And my mom, and like it paused for a second, and mom's like, well, did he start it? And I was like, bitch, did I start the fight? I didn't start this fight. I was like, I told you I wasn't in trouble, fuck you. And she's like, well, no, but we have a zero tolerance policy on fighting, so we're gonna have to suspend him. And my mom, the sweetest, like she makes apple cobbler all the time. She was like, the fuck you will! And I was like, Mama's cousin! I never heard her cuss. You're in trouble. Like, I'm not, you're fucking in trouble. Holy shit. And she's like, no. I heard this with my ears. And she's like, no, we're gonna have to. And my mom is like, do not make me send my husband down there. I was like, oh, daddy's involved. Is he gonna bring his bout? This is gonna get funny as fuck. And she's like, if I have to send my husband down there, we're gonna take him out of school and get our tuition money back. And I was like, money's involved? We got some money. You don't fuck with a private school and their money, people. But you really don't fuck with my parents and their money. So I was like, oh, that was like a real threat there. And so like, it just got there. And like my mom's still like cussing and like being really tyrannical at the principal. The principal's like, look, I don't think that you should be cussing, like it's not really appropriate language to have you on speakerphone. She's like, oh, I'm on speakerphone? Seth, can you hear me? I'm just sitting here like, yes, mommy? She's like, oh child, don't you worry about the thing now, mama gonna take care of you. I'm like, Jamaican mother? What just happened here? Holy shit! What's going on? Like she turns into Miss Cleo when she gets angry. Oh, Miss Cleo, got the vision of the future now, Miss Principal Lady. I see a boot in your ass in the future. And she's like, oh, get back to class now, whites boy. Get some learning done. I'm like, did my mom just dismiss me from my own high school? Like she's like, I'm the principal of this shit now. I'm like, oh god. Guys, Jamaican mom. That was the real end of my joke. My mom turns Jamaican. Like, it's so different. Like, my mom is like, end fights. My dad's like, never start them. Like, they're so different. Like, I don't know if I like really understand my dad. Like, he's such an intimidating guy, though. Like, he is, like, imagine like a 10-foot brick wall, and then for whatever reason, like, turn that into a human, and like, that's my dad. And then also, that's like, imagine a brick wall loving someone. That's how my dad loves. Guys, I think I have some daddy issues. Maybe I should have been a stripper. Like, does this make you love me now? My dad's over there. Is this too much? Okay, I'm stuck now, I guess. But like, it's not only like his physical presence that terrifies people. I mean, it terrifies me. But like, I do like the mental games. Like, the shit he says is just like, you don't say this to humans ever. Like, especially when you first meet them. Like, when you first meet somebody, like, you have a friend, like, they're like a wild animal. You have to, like, really creep up on them before you like, trap them and make them stay your friend forever. Like, is that how you guys do friends? Hold them hostage for your life? No. And, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I had a buddy of mine, and the first time he came over to my house, and let's call him Yak. You know, real name Zach, but we'll go Yak. We'll move a letter backward. So, he comes over to my house, and my dad walks in, like, we're walking in the door, and my dad's like, hey, is this your new friend? I'm like, yeah. He's like, it's your gay boyfriend? I'm like, first of all, that's redundant as shit. Gay boyfriend? If he's my boyfriend, of course he's gay. Like, you don't go to Walmart, you're like, this is me and my straight wife. We're just here picking out bullets and fucking hunting stuff, and I don't know, whatever straight people get. Like, wait a second, I am straight. Wait a second. Why do I not know, like, what straight people get at a store? This is not good. Thanks. But so, like, then I look back and, like, my friend just, like, scampered away. I'm like, you scared him! Oh, I can't trap him, you dick. I'm like, ugh. And, like, my dad, like, is, like, he's kind of reclusive. Like, he keeps to himself. Like, he doesn't, like, hang out with a lot of people. And, like, I think he had a tough time making friends because I think at one time in his life, somebody walked up to him and like, hey, you know what two guys do together when they're alone? And he's like, what? And he's like, homo things. All the homo things. He's like, I don't want that. So he just doesn't have a lot of guys. Like, I wonder if he was, when he was a kid, like if like some other well-meaning child was like, hey, you want to be my friend and come over for a sleepover? And my dad's like, my butthole's for pooping only. He like runs off and his kid's like, my butthole's also for pooping only. So why don't you just sleep over? Guys, last time I did a set, my dad, like, I guess wasn't very happy with it or something. And he just loves poop jokes. So I just added the poop joke for you, Dad. There you go. No. But something like my dad, like, yeah, he's intimidating, he's a 10-foot tall brick wall. But he does something that, like, it has made me laugh since I was a little kid. And, like, I don't know why, but it just does. So, like, he and I will be sitting there, right? And, like, he smells something. And he looks at me, he's like, did you fart? And I'm like, no, I didn't. He's like, huh, maybe it was me. I'm like, how do you not know if you farted? Like, really? Like, is this what happens in old age? You just, like, shit slips out, you're like, whoa, there's a turtle on the ground. Who was that? That was the cat. Fuck it, we don't have one. Like, I just don't. Like, I'm just waiting. Like, I guess I'm not waiting, because, like, when he's, like, in a nursing home, and he's just sitting there, and I'm talking to him, he's like, did you just shit in my diaper? No. Maybe it was me. And like 5 minutes later, I see him in a corner, just like making a face, like, that time it was me for sure. Oh, gross. Another poop joke. Do you have my attention now? Stop the ball, Daddy. Sorry. That was my sister saying that. Weird. But no, like, I don't know. Like, I fuck with my parents. Like, they're cool though. Like, we survived. Like, I have a brother and sister. Like, we made it. Like, woo!
Barely.
Yes, that was them. So, like, you know, we did it. And, like, I feel like my parents, like, by the time they got to the third kid, their only rule was like, is he still alive? Cool. Because, like, I've had so many surgeries and I've been in the hospital a bunch of times, and the doctor's like, well, your son. They're like, wait a second. Does he have a pulse? Yep. High five, badass parenting. Like, that's all that they needed to, like, go along. But, like, they had other kids, so fuck it. Let's talk about them, right? I have an older brother and an older sister. He's the oldest. My brother, guys, is like a schemer. Like, he's a crazy schemer. And, like, he's mad that I'm leaving because he wants to start, like, businesses with me. but like they're not really businesses. He walks up, he's like, hey, if you stay here, we'll start a lawn mowing business. I'm like, all right, tell me about it. He's like, just invest some money, get some lawnmowers, we'll work it for 2 or 3 years, then we'll hire some Mexicans, and boom, we're rich. And I'm like, wait, what? He's like, hold on, I got another one for you. We will get some bouncy castles. We will work it together for 2 or 3 years. They will rename it Mexican Jumping Bean, hire a bunch of Mexicans, boom, we're rich. And I'm like, what? And he's like, one more, okay, you wanna make it harder? We'll start building some houses. You and I work it together for a few years. I'm like, dude, is the next step Mexicans? He's like, now you're getting it. You will succeed. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I'm pretty sure if Mexicans were like the road to the riches, like all Republicans wouldn't be trying to build a wall between us and Mexico. I feel like they'd be like, come on in, fucking money bags. Like, just, it would be much more glorious. Like, you'd have a great infomercial. He'd be like, I have the 4-step plan to riches. Step 1, start a business. Who gives a fuck what business it is? It doesn't matter. Step 2, work there, I guess. Step 3, Mexican. Step 4, count your pesos, you're rich, motherfuckers. Like, that's just all he does. I just love it. But he's been a schemer for life. For life. Like, when I was a little kid, I was 4 years old. Okay? And he was 8 or 9, depending on what part of the year it was, or depending on if he was lying on his IRS program. I don't know. He's been lying his whole life. So, he and I, like, my mom brings us to the grocery store, and like, she looks at us, and I don't know if we were bad or something today, I don't remember, but she's like, we're coming in here, no candy, we're just getting some shit and leaving. And like, she walked off and left the 4-year-old and 9-year-old do whatever the fuck. It was the 90s, guys, it was okay back then. So, my brother looks at me and he's like, hey, I know Mom said we can't have any candy from her, but what if we bought our own candy? And I'm like, fucking genius. I'm 4 years old. I can't be depending on my parents for my candy fucking problem for the rest of my life. Like, Easter and Halloween only come around once a year. I gotta do something in the meantime to get some mean time, you know? And I'm like, but we can't, like, we don't have any way of making money. And he's like, it doesn't matter. Look, there's a fountain over there. And let me just set up the grocery store for you guys. So there's this grocery store you used to walk in, and in the middle of the produce section, there was a giant 10-foot brick wall. It was not my dad. And it had like cascading waterfall, like a little pool. People would throw money into it. If anybody's not familiar with that or from Baton Rouge, that was the high neighbor on Jones Creek. It also works for any Walmart. Think of a Walmart and have a fucking retarded-ass wall that threw shit, people would throw money into it. So my brother's like, hey, you see how many quarters are in that fountain? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you know what kind of candy we can get for these quarters? I'm like, what? He's like, the best kind of candy. I'm like, the best kind? He's like, yeah. So here's what's gonna happen. I want you to go into the fountain and get some quarters. I, as the good brother, am gonna go pick out a bunch of the best candies. And so you do that and you come find me, we'll buy candy together. I'm like, yes. So like, I'm gonna walk into this fountain, and I'm like, I put my shirt out, and I'm like putting money into it, and I'm like incredulous at why no one else is doing this. I'm like, see how much free money's in here? You guys are fucking retarded. Somebody threw me a quarter, I'm like, cool, I'll keep it. Like, what the fuck you doing that? And so then like when my belly's like pregnant full of wet quarters, like waddle my way back to my brother, and I'm like, okay, all right. And he's like, great. He starts like funneling the money into his pockets. And then the manager comes up at the store. My brother sold me out so fast. Oh my God, he sold out faster than Sesame Street Live. Guys, I was 4 years old, that's a relevant reference, okay? Mid-90s. Anyone? So, he like brings us to the front, and they call my mom on the intercom. My mom walks up, and like she immediately knows, like I'm not the mastermind of this plan. Like I'm not the Danny Ocean of this shit. Like if this were Ocean's 11, I was Casey Affleck at best. Like, or maybe like the small little Asian dude in the box. Like that was my whole role in this movie part. And she walks up and she's like, why didn't you listen to me? I was like, you told me about candy. Like we're 4 years old. And she's like, don't listen to your brother. He is here to fuck with you for the rest of your life. That's all he's here for. See, brother, that's why I don't do business plans. Mom told me not to.
Yeah, you figured it out.
Yeah, the quarter thing. And so like he beat me up. We got home, you know, whatever, what brothers do. But like during that whole time, like I had an ally throughout this. That was my sister. She was the middle child. She's great. Can we give a round of applause for my sister? That's the last time you'll like her. All right. Because like she was my ally and like till she hit high school. Like I don't know what happens on the first day of high school for girls if they walk in They're just like, here's some mood pills, go fucking crazy. And just like, you are gonna be temperamental as shit until you're 25. And it's like, oh fuck. Like that's how my sister, like, I was almost sure that like, we went like a foreign exchange program where like we gave my sister up and just got like a fucking ghost in our house. Like just like the most, because it was just like a room in my house that I didn't go into. Like I didn't go into, there was like random wailings and cackling laughs, like ah! Like just weird emo music, like Simple playing, like Good Charlotte played, like blasted its ass off. Metallica and Gore was going, it was like fucking crazy. And like she wouldn't come out of her room except for like once a month or like once every 28 days, whatever. Like you'd be walking by a room like all happy and she would open the door just like, boom, just like slap the shit out of you. Like, what the fuck was that for? She's like, emotions, I don't know, I just can't keep it together. She like disappeared in her room, like, what the fuck was that? That was, and you can't like hit a girl back. Like my parents both were like, never hit a girl. Even if you really, really want it, just don't hit girls. And I'm like, all right, cool. But I could get even with girls, right? Like I could get straight up even. So one day, she's in the bathroom getting ready, like she's going to her boyfriend's house and like murder a bunch of goats. Like I don't know what the fuck she was doing. She was in high school and terrifying. So I went in her room and I took her keys out of her purse. I started giggling to myself. So she gets done, she walks out of the house and I lock her out. And she gets to her car before she realizes that like the keys are missing. She comes back in, I'm like hiding in the living room, just giggling. She's knocking, let me in. So she's like knocking like a motherfucker and I'm just like, ha. And so for like, I get enough of like the audio. Like I want to see her like pissed, right? Like I gotta get back at her for this. So I go to a window that's like, she can't see me, like she's catty corner, like I'm right here peeking through, this is her profile, so like this is her looking like this way, right? And so like I'm watching her laughing and so she's just like knocking, she's like, come on, let me in, seriously, come on. And she's like, I see you. And I'm like, you don't see shit, like you're so far away from me right now. And so I peek through the blinds, I start knocking, I'm like, hey, dumbass, over here. And she's looking this way and she's like, no, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to who's ever over here. And I'm back this way, I'm like, no one else is home but me. Gotta be her again. She's like, no, but seriously, like look. So I look, and I am peeking through the blinds. And the door that we have at our house is half door, half window. So it has blinds. So I am peeking through, and over here, something the fuck else is peeking through the goddamn window. The most ominous eyes ever. I'm like fucking terrified. And like I'm not Danny Ocean in Ocean's 12, and I'm like, ah! Like I run, and I don't know why, like I run toward her, like fucking who cares? So like I'm running over here, and I'm opening the door, and I just remember hearing like this loud, like, ah! Scream. So I'm over there, I'm like, sister, calm down. And I realized like her mouth isn't moving. I was like, oh my god, that was me. I was screaming so fucking loud just now. And before I could run out, like she runs in and hits me. I'm like, God, great, now I'm fucking stuck with two ghosts. So we go run, like we run into her room and we just jump on the bed and we're just laying, like we're like cuddling. We just like stop in whatever position we land in. So we're just like some dumb fucking retarded tree, just like hugging each other. And she's like, just don't move. Ghosts can't see motion. Just act like you're dead. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's bears. No. And she's like, oh, well, then we gotta run in the serpentine pattern. I'm like, alligators, no? She's like, stop, drop. I'm like, fire. No, none of these are okay. But like, we're committed to this like position. So we're just waiting and waiting. It felt like 6 goddamn months because I'm cuddling my sister's boobs awkwardly. Not like my hands, they're tree doing. It's my face. Which is worse. So then like we hear the door open and we get real quiet, like the door to the house. And then I hear my mom's like, hey kids, I'm home. I'm like, great. Ghosts are scared of adults, I guess, I don't know. Like that's what they're on Scooby-Doo. And my sister's like, don't move. What if the ghost figured out how to mimic mom's voice? I'm like, then getting in this fucking retarded tree stance isn't gonna help anything at all. Just waiting to fucking murder us with a machete. I don't know if ghosts can hold machetes. But so like, during this like little debacle we're having, my mom opens the door and she's like, oh, y'all are getting along again. This is amazing. I'm like, no, fuck you, dude. Like, keep your friends close, keep your enemies close. She's body armor, fucker. This ghost comes back, I'm giving her up. I'm like, ghost to ghost, ah! Like, throw like a grenade, just like, do they explode now? Like, I don't know what ghosts do. But she's like, I want to take a picture, it's so cute. Like, I just wish she would have taken a picture. So like when it gets developed, like we're doing this, and like a ghost is behind us, like making the weird totem pole at the end, like ah! That's scary. Being scared makes me hungry. Being sad makes me hungry. Being happy makes me hungry, but being hungry makes me fucking hungry. And it's great because my mom cooks all the goddamn time. Guys, and she retired, so now she cooks like way more, but there's no one in the house. Like I'll go over there, and she's like, hey, make yourself a plate, I made enough for everyone. I'm like, who the fuck is everyone? It's just you and Dad. And she's like, well, we got the ghost, your dad's friends, and all those Mexicans your brother hires. I'm like, oh, wait, no, that's not real. I'm like, I just get really nervous, like, she has like the empty nest syndrome, that when I'm gonna come home, there's gonna be like a bunch of fucking mannequins around the dining room table, like one's gonna be like putting it in its mouth, and the other one's gonna be like, like, whatever. She's like, I named one Jack. You can't have Jack's mannequins like the band. I'm like, why do you know that reference? That's not okay. Not at all. And I'm like, Mom, seriously, like, why do you cook all this food? And she's like, well, I don't know, I had the ingredients. I'm like, that's the dumbest fucking reason to do anything ever. Like, one day I'm just like waiting for a call like from the prison, and like she answered, like I answer, and she's like, I got arrested. I'm like, why'd you get arrested? She's like, oh, I was cooking crystal meth. Why the fuck were you cooking crystal meth? Like, well, I had the ingredients. Like, oh God, Sudafed was on sale. I got it out the ass right now. Holy shit. And then it's like, Mom, why did you shoot the neighbors? Oh, don't you know, child, they started it, so Mama had to finish it. No! And plus I had the gun and the bullet, so I had the ingredients, child. I'm like, oh no, don't kill the neighbors! Like, guys, let me just sum it all up for you, okay? My brother loves Mexicans. My dad loves poop. My sister's a ghost, and don't make my mom Jamaican. Do I fit into my family? Like, I fit in, right? Like, that's what's up? And these guys are, yes, I do. Guys, you've been great, seriously. Like, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. It's been awesome. I'm gonna miss you guys. Y'all have a great night. Seth Hartley. Oh, we made it!
Seth Hartley, keep it going for him. That was a lot of fun. We give him a lot of shit, but we're gonna miss him. We all are. We know we are. Don't be full of yourself. We know. Give yourself a round of applause for coming and hanging out tonight, audience. More, don't you love yourselves? Applaud. No, you don't. Okay, cool. Next week, all the way from Oklahoma, our headline.